Came in with a hot mic. Let's get it together. I told you. Murphy's Law. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, L. Linnell, L Boogie, depends on which circle you know me in. I got a lot of handles. But we back. It's been a long time. The interviews crew here today is June 1st, man. And we coming back out. We got a special guest in the house today. And we're gonna get into that. Uh, First off, if you haven't been to the interviews website, www.interviews.com, go on over there, check it out. Um, it's under construction, but you know you can still go over there and see what we doing. We building it brick by brick, putting it down. Also, you can follow us on Instagram dot or at interviews on Instagram and at interviews at all the social medias. You know the vibes. Um, yeah, man, we got a special guest in the building, Sarah Thomas from Warren Grown. How you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. Sarah runs Warren Grown, which is a urban agricultural nonprofit organization here in Warren, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let her tell us a little bit about that here shortly. Before we get into that, though, We're gonna shout out our sponsors, our partners, our player partners over here at Interviews. We got some outstanding partners that help us do business and keep this show on the road. Today Thursday, man. What you do today, Lid?
Today, honestly, I haven't done much today.
You haven't done
Yeah,
much
I was
today.
vibing. I was
Damn.
vibing.
Damn.
But now I'm here working.
I hear that. You here now. Well, what about you, Will? We'll go. What you do today, man?
I had a meeting today about some more designs that I really gotta finish today.
So you got something done today?
Yeah, a little something, a little more progress. I didn't do the designs yet, but I got a better idea of what I gotta do. So,
Well, today is refinement Thursday for me. Refinement Thursday. You know what that mean? That mean I go get my hair cut. You know what I'm saying? I make sure my nails is right. Refinement. Like if you was fine before, and you want to be fine again, you go get refined, man.
I'm having that day tomorrow.
Oh, use your refinement Friday. I can dig it. I can dig it. So if you into being getting your refinement on, and you a brother like myself or Will or even Lid, you need to go check out Downtown Grooming, 137 South Park, Warren, Ohio. The master barbers Lou and Mike, they get you together. They got some other great barbers in there. They doing their thing. The shop is immaculate. The vibes is high, and that's what it is, man. If you want to go to a shop where you can relax, the environment is classy, clean cut, you know, go check out Downtown Room, man. They're definitely gonna get you together. That's 137 South Park, Warren, Ohio. Also, another part of refinement Thursdays for me is gotta get a good workout in. You know, you gotta train for life, man. You gotta train for life. You don't have to be involved in a lot of sports. Sarah, you said you like to box, huh?
So, well, my main sport is actually pole dancing, and I cross train with boxing for cardio. You
Okay.
actually need you gotta stay fit to pole dance. So
I would
that will
assume.
be our next interview.
Right, okay, yeah, for sure. But whether you pole dancing for sport or you just training that life, my man and the guys and girls at Phillips Care Training to get you together. That's 277 South High Street in Cortland, Ohio. Maybe a Warren, Ohio address. Either way, it's a great environment to go train at. Uh, Mike Phillips is the head trainer over there, and he got a plethora of programs to get you refined. If you out there, you used to be fine, You want to be fine again?
Yeah, we will get you together.
He get. Oh, you work.
Oh no, I've never worked out with him, but I watch his Instagram videos, and I'm like always impressed by his stability work. Like,
He focuses on a lot of stability, a lot of core work. Definitely gonna challenge you today. Thursday was leg day, so that's why I was tripping about the elevator earlier. You dig what I'm saying? Like I did mine. You know what I'm saying? I did mine, but like I said, there's a great group over there at Phillips Care Training. That's 277 South High Street in Cortland, Ohio. Go check them out. Get fine again. Fellas, don't be sitting at home with no bad body. Ain't no reason. You dig? Go out there, get you some instruction, and get yourself together. All right. Now, like I said, we got a special guest in the building today. Sarah Thomas from Warren Grown. Can we how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm over here. I'm sweating, but I ain't hot. You know what I'm saying? It's that sun on my back. Yeah, I got the glow.
Mm-hmm.
The glow come with a price. So Warren Grown, urban agriculture organization. I've been following your movement on Instagram for a while, and I'm like I told you earlier, I said, damn, I've been talking about gardening and doing things like that for a while, but I ain't did shit.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work.
So getting right into it, I see the your tagline for the organization is sapling to sovereign.
Yeah, so that's like the tagline for our youth summer program.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was interested in that because I was like, well, I wonder what that means. Explain to us and whoever listening, what's your interpretation of that term, sapling to sovereign?
So basically, a sapling is like a baby plant, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like it means raising our kids to be sovereign individuals. So individuals who are resilient, individuals who can grow their own food, who have the tools that they need to kind of be empowered, not have to depend so much on the systems that often oppress us.
So it's and that's what I figured it was. I didn't want to, put the words in your mouth. I definitely wanted to hear. I thought that was pretty dope. Actually, I was surprised to see those words. Well, the sapling part made a lot of sense, but sovereign, that's a powerful word. That's a very powerful word. So, I was definitely interested in hearing your interpretation of that sapling to sovereign. Is that sovereignty mindset something that that was instilled in you since you've been young, and if not, when did you start kind of tapping into that perspective of sovereign self, independence?
So it was not really instilled in me as a kid. We didn't garden. It was kind of typical, go to work, do the 9 to 5 kind of, I guess, path.
Right.
Everyone kind of wanted me to be on. However, I guess I started thinking about sovereignty when I was probably 20 or so, in my mid-20s. And I guess I just started realizing how vulnerable we actually are because we depend on these systems. And I just started realizing a lot of these systems don't necessarily have our best interest in mind. And in fact, they more so depend on exploiting us so that the people in charge can get richer. So I really started thinking about sovereignty once I started mildly gardening in my mid-20s, but then I started raising chickens as well. And it just kind of made me realize that when you're growing your own food, when you're able to give people food, even if it's just free, because I was never really huge into making a profit off of it. you're kind of in a lot of ways taking power away from these corporations who are otherwise trying to not only exploit us, but exploit the earth and its animals as well. Just by, if I give someone chicken eggs, that's less profits that Giant Eagle and these like big agricultural companies are getting. So I really started thinking about how, well, Ron Finley always says, he's kind of one of the people I look up to in the world of urban agriculture. He always says that growing your own food is like printing your own money. Like we go to work to get money to buy food. We go to work to get money to, pay for our houses. But what if we grew our own food? You know what I mean? It kind of takes power away from these systems and corporations who are essentially just exploiting our labor for their own profit. So
Okay, I can jack that. I like more of like the empowering ourselves part. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, and we're gonna get into like the corporation role into that, the role that the corporations play, because I think and I wonder, like, have you? I don't want to say if you probably don't get a lot of pushback from it, but my question would be like, there is a portion of that depending on the grocery stores and things, like they do play an important role in the community, but taking some of that power back, like you said, like when you grow, if you can grow your own food, even just knowing you can, so like at any given time you can change your habits. Like you may like going to these stores or whatnot, but even just having to know how.
And it's not even that I have a problem with like getting your food from a grocery store. The problem that I have is like the chain of command before that. So like most of our food is coming from like California, it's coming all the way across the country. Sometimes it's coming from other countries. So like what if there was a collapse in that chain of command?
Right.
Or what if someone manipulated the system so that there was a collapse in that chain of command? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us very vulnerable. And I guess I maybe started thinking about it a little more too once I became a teacher, because I guess I just I was working with youth and I started like asking myself like, well, what kind of world are we building for these kids?
Mm-hmm.
It's not really the world that I want to leave for them. So
that's cool. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Yes.
Make it better than it was the way we found it. Now, speaking of the chain of command of where the food come from, I have this question, and I ask all local green thumb aficionados. Did I say that right? Aficionados. What grows? We in Ohio, right? We're in Northeast Ohio. Like, tell the people what they can grow. Like, plentiful in this particular area. Well, tell me, because you know what I'm saying, I don't know, everybody else may know, but definitely like with our winters, and then the way that the ground, you gotta wait for the ground thaw, this and the third. What should people be growing in this area?
So in the summer, you can pretty much grow almost anything here. The basics. You can grow tomatoes, okra, peppers, peas, collards. Summer is like, even if it wouldn't survive here in the winter, like there's a good chance that you can get it to survive here in the summer. And then in the winter, the winter's rough. So for me, that's why I'm starting to experiment. I just got a greenhouse this year. So I'm going to be experimenting this summer with, can I grow like cold hardy vegetables throughout the winter, especially because our winters are getting warmer, or at least they seem to be. So I was going to experiment this summer with growing things like peas, maybe broccoli, greens in my little greenhouse, because it's got like a firm polycarbonate cover, so it's not like the flimsy plastic like you normally see.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that with that firm plastic, I'll be able to keep it pretty warm in there. And then if it's not warm enough, like you could get a heater. that is an option, but it's also expensive. But you can also experiment with other things like heating up rocks and putting it on the ground in there to keep the ground nice and warm. But yeah, so like farming all year round in Ohio would definitely, especially if you're doing it outside, would be a challenge. But then there's also indoor growing options as well, because the world of hydroponics is like blowing up. But that takes a lot more money versus electricity. So,
I was gonna ask you that later on, but since you brought it up,
yeah.
What's your thoughts as somebody who plays in the dirt? You know, like outside is like your main thing. Like, what's your thoughts on the hydroponics and like the indoor, like far as like indoor what am I trying to say? Like the indoor herb gardens and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of that online, and you know all the extra hookups that you can do with everything.
Yeah.
So my question, like I wanted to ask you in regards to, you know, keeping things as natural as possible, you know, like, you know, I'm assuming that's like part of the premises as well.
Yes.
You know, it's
that's
like
how I kind of prefer it.
right. So when I was, you know, doing the research, you know, and preparing to speak with you, I was thinking like, what's your thoughts on the technology kind of does that take away the organicness for you, like when you think about it?
I think maybe it does a little bit, because it always seems to me like indoor plants are kind of like not as happy as outdoor plants. But I mean, I think it's a good way to grow a lot of food and be able to feed people. It's not really like my cup of tea, just because it's expensive. You know,
Okay.
It requires a lot of electricity. You gotta have lights. You have to have pumps. And those things usually, like the water pumps, usually have to be running like all the time. I don't like to leave like electrical things running in my house constantly. So, I mean, I think if you have the resources to do that, it could be a really great thing to grow a lot of food, even in the winter, and feed a lot of people. But it's not necessarily what I'm into, just because I've never really had the money to support my agricultural habits. So I kind of had to just get creative and use like things that I can get for free, which
Right.
usually isn't grow lights or air pumps.
Oh, right.
So,
I got a excuse me, I got a feeling that, you know, the whole, you know, like the money thing, what you got going on, like that's going to start working itself out. Would you be looking? Because I see y'all do a lot. You have a lot of educational workshops and programs and things like that. Do you see like maybe in the future you guys um adding that piece of education, like far as like indoor grow and like more like the technology based uh growing food as just maybe just like I said, this ain't like you said, if you got the resources, you probably can dive way deeper into it.
Yes.
But at least just like are you open to, like, if the resources were there, adding that to that stuff?
yeah, definitely. I would say if we had like an indoor space that would be willing to let us kind of experiment with the setup, yeah, we would definitely be interested in that, because then we could grow all year round. Um, we do have our 501c3, so we probably could get a grant to help fund setting that up. And we are kind of talking to some indoor spaces who are interested in like us bringing programming there. So that is something that could be in the future.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we're kind of early in the indoor space discussion. So.
I can dig it. So how long has Warren Grown been? How long have you had it running?
So we started building the actual farm in the fall of 2020, and then we officially became a corporation in June of 2021. So it's
Okay.
about to be 2 years now that we've been like an official business. Um,
That's cool. So pandemic baby.
yep, pandemic baby.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Interviews is a pandemic baby as well.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So some of us was in the house thinking, what can we do?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What can we do? So that's what's up. That's what's up. I think you answered my next question, which was like, and I don't know if you want to add to it, but if you had to like, what's Sarah's prime objective for Warren Grown? Like, you know, I don't know, 5, 10 years from now, what you
Yeah.
want to see?
So one of my biggest inspirations is the Detroit community, and just how they took a really horrible situation from their city and they basically are working towards food sovereignty there because they didn't have a choice. And I think like what's going on in Warren is almost like a micro version of Detroit, where we have a lot of urban blight. Houses are getting knocked down almost every day, so we have all kinds of empty land. We've got a lot of people living in poverty who need food and need like affordable access to healthy food because right now we're eating chips and whatever's available at convenience stores. So I would really like to see our community utilizing these vacant lots to grow food because then we can feed ourselves and we can feed ourselves healthy food. And I would love to see us doing that in our school systems. I think with all the vacant land that Warren City owns in this town, like we could feed so many people. We could literally go farm to table in our schools. Because I mean, I've never worked at Warren City, but I've worked at other schools in Warren, and like, I wouldn't eat that food. I wouldn't, if I had a child, I wouldn't feed it to my child. Like, it's not healthy.
Right.
Even like just the breakfasts that they serve sometimes are like 50% of the daily sugar value that you should be eating. And like, that's what we're serving our kids first thing in the morning. So, and then we expect them to sit there and behave and listen and learn. It's like we're setting them up for failure. So I would just love to see us growing our own food collectively and just eating healthy.
Yeah, because I'm older than everybody in this room, but they did used to give us this little sweet ass donut first thing in the
Yes,
morning.
they still do. The little round ones.
It was delicious. I don't know what you
I'm
talk
sure they
about.
are.
No, it's just
Amazing.
yeah, that donut, that little donut.
Yeah. Just
They
one
They
little-
still got them at the corner store,
Oh,
but
they still got them in the
I wouldn't eat it.
stores.
I wouldn't eat it right now, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it right now, but I get in mine for seconds. Back when I was back in the day, I'm like, damn,
Oh, yeah.
them little donuts were smacking.
Mhm. All kids will for sugar.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Yeah, and I agree with you. That's the reason why I didn't do well in school. That's
Yeah,
that's what I'm going with.
All that food is full of,
Yeah,
like,
it was the donut.
dyes. All those dyes are affecting their brains and their ability.
Affected
to
my
sit
brain.
there. Yeah, it probably affected mine too.
You-
It affected all of us.
Exactly. We should get reparations for that shit. No, but yeah, that's yeah, man. Damn. Oh, hot mic. But yeah, that's damn. That's I think about the school lunches. You know what I'm saying? Did you enjoy? How was the
I
the
didn't
food?
really eat school lunch
Yeah, I
like
do.
that.
But I do remember we always had like pizza, French fries.
Yeah, like
Which
I
the
eat
French
fries.
fries were delicious. The French fries were delicious.
I'd eat like just like the little things that were good every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think we like the first couple years that I went to Hartland, they didn't even serve us unlimited food because it was like too much of a problem. There were always like fights. But then they started serving lunch like I think my 11th grade.
That's why there was fights. Wasn't no lunch.
Right, we started.
There wasn't no lunch. I can't think of another reason. A better reason. Goddamn. Put 50 hungry motherfuckers around each
Right,
other.
right.
See what happens. You know what
Plus
I'm
we were
saying?
in that little old school still.
They did They at Harding, my freshman year, they did they were selling salads. I remember that. They had like
Okay.
chicken salads and stuff.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
You know what I think makes school lunches healthier? When the kids is hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just I think I think I think I think it kind of work out when the kids is hungry. Like, man, if you don't hand me that pizza, like,
Some of the kids they'll go all day without eating, or they'll just bring like hot Cheetos or like Takis with them.
Yeah.
And eat that because they're like, that's disgusting.
yeah. All jokes aside, we do gotta we do collectively probably need to lend some attention to what the kids is eating, because not to sprawl too far off the track, but the food you eat directly affects the way your body feel. The way your body feel affects the decisions that you make.
Mhm.
So, all jokes aside, you absolutely right about that, because you know
Fuel source.
I talked to a guy. I was running steps at the amphitheater probably like 2 years ago, and there was a guy. I'm gonna tell this story, right? I thought he was homeless because I see him walking around all the time and stuff. But I said, damn, for me, I feel like he gonna have something worth me hearing. I just felt like, I'm like, man, he walking around all the time, like he gotta have some wisdom or something. Like, so I go up to him and start talking to him, and you know what he told me?
Mhm.
He told me this. He said, and it kind of alludes to something that you had mentioned earlier. He said, "You see that building over there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That building ain't supposed to be there." He said, "We could be planting fruit trees over there."
Yep.
And he was like, a lot of these buildings that's up here, that's about this and that. He was like, that could be space. He like, that could be space for fruit trees and vegetables. He like, that could be free food.
Yep.
And he also has said something that made sense. He was like, he was like, stay away from them damn chips in the corner store. He said the corner store, them potato chips is like gunpowder to kids. He said all that salt, all that sodium. He said the only thing in the corner stores for kids is salt and sugar. And he was like, you wonder why the kids acting wild? He was like, salt and sugar all day is like gunpowder to a young person. He like, it's like gunpowder. He told me that. He was like, stay away from them chips. And I started thinking about it like, salt and sugar do kind of ramp you up a lot.
Yep.
It ramp you up.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, damn. Then he said it. I'm like, it kind of looked like gunpowder. How you think about it? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit.
It's my worst fear as a teacher. Not necessarily salt, but sugar.
Yeah.
Worst fear. People start passing out candy.
That's
30
crazy.
kids, I'm outnumbered.
I was gonna ask you, did you want some gummies? But I'm not now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild though. I've been probably like the last 3 or 4 years. I've been a lot more conscious about how much sugar I'm taking. I actually did a sugar detox for like 30 days.
That's rough.
Man, listen.
Yeah, I need to do it again because I've been slacking.
You've been on sugar since you was like
Yeah.
that's like the first drug.
Yes. Oh yeah. I remember like when I was a kid, I would just eat like Oreos and Ho-Hos for breakfast.
Yeah, man. Sugar. Like, remember you get your hair cut? What's the first thing barber do? Give you a sucker,
Yeah.
so you can. And what the kid do when he get the sucker? He go from not letting you cut his hair, you can cut his arm off. He wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? But you give him a sucker, and then the cooperation is right there. The sugar. My granddaughter the other day, she too, right? And she get her cup, and we like, you want some water? She like, nope, juice. She like juice. So we had to put a shake bake on her and give her
What's funny
the
is
color water.
you can make natural juices without all that sugar, and it tastes delicious. We did 2 food literacy workshops last year, and juices was one of our focus. And we worked with Chef Odell at Inspiring Minds. and he made the most delicious juices, no sugar added. If anything, we maybe added a little bit of agave to some of them. Other than that, if you get the right combination of fruits and vegetables, you can make delicious sugar-free juices. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they're sugaring these juices is just another way that they try to keep us unhealthy.
I'm listening. I was listening. Yeah, I was intrigued by as I going through your Instagram and asking around. I was intrigued by you get a lot of support. It's a lot of support for what you got going on. Can you kind of like explain like the moment you start seeing like the gravitation and the support for what you was doing?
Well, for me, I really felt it just this past spring, even with us getting signups for our summer program. Our poster for that program like got so many shares on social media, and it seemed like a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about it. Like this is something that we need. So I was really grateful for all of that support. And then just amongst our community, and then there's been a lot of local businesses and foundations that have added to that support, just with sponsorships and grants for our program. So that's been once again really like I've been really grateful and almost a little bit surprised because sometimes I do feel like I'm not really sure how we're received, but that was like eye-opening for me. Like, okay, people are like into this and they support it. So
Yeah, I definitely I won't say I was shocked, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Me
We'll say
too.
that.
Me
Pleasantly
too.
surprised. I'm
I
like,
was nervous because I was like, oh, I'm always nervous myself when I put any part of myself out there. And like Warren Grown is like a passion project of mine, right? So it's almost like when I share Warren Grown anything, it's like putting a piece of my soul out there and hoping that people accept it or, are into it. And so I was like, okay, people like it. It was nice. It was
so on the flip side of that, right? Since you said it's a passion project for you, um, for somebody else who may be listening or watching and maybe thinking about starting their passion project, right? Talk about some of the things that I don't want to use the term negative, but some of the challenges that you incurred like on your way to from the inception of the idea, like from the time you was like, you know what, I'm really about to jump off the porch and do this, and till the fact now, like I looked at your flyers, I'm like, man, they she got sponsors on here, like notable some notable institutions and things like that getting behind what you're doing, and especially being an organization that's kind of like channeled to like getting people to be separated from
kind of
corporate, right. So talk like speak to like some of the challenges that you might inquire on your way to getting some of the support.
Well, for me personally, like a lot of my challenges were almost just like internal, like self-doubt, feeling like maybe people would not accept my idea. But I mean, I had a strong group of people around me who kind of kept, like helping me move forward, which are my board members. And also Trumbull Neighborhood Partnership has been really supportive as well. And I kind of like at first, I kind of kept things real small and quiet. I was nervous to, really put us out there. So for me, I just took little steps, one step at a time. So like for us, one of my first big steps, besides like actually starting the farm, was going to the Warren Farmers Market. I was like deathly afraid because I was like, what are people going to think about this? And like, we don't even have a lot of produce to like bring to the table at this point, and we're going up against like 5th generation farmers. here at the market. Like, people are probably just going to think I'm a loser. But people really like seem to embrace the idea, even when we started there. And I mean, other challenges that we face are just like theft in general. So like,
Oh shit.
yeah, so it was
Who the fuck
the
still? Who the,
sum-
hold on,
oh,
hold
wait
on.
till you-
Yeah, like what the
wait.
fuck is y'all stealing?
You're
Like,
good. But I'll tell you.
it's
So it was the summer of, I think, 2021, right? We had just got the whole farm finished. I pull up one day, I look up, the entire shed is gone. The entire shed is gone. Everything in it is gone. So pretty much all of the resources that we had acquired to be able to build the farm and then maintain the farm, gone. So that definitely was disheartening. But luckily, we do have a lot of strong allies in the community. So Trumbull Neighborhood Partnership helped us to get an even bigger and better shed. And it's still there. I put it right up by the side because our old shed was in like the back of the farm. So this one I put right in the front just because I felt like maybe it would make it harder for people to like sneak back there and like break into it or steal it. So yeah, theft has been one of our bigger issues. Even like people steal weird things. Like people will steal plants, people steal wood, like just like logs of wood.
now my question: do they come and take the vegetables?
So I've heard reports from like people who live around the farm, like yeah, that dude over there's taking the peppers. But I mean,
Y'all's
that's what we're here
about to say y'all's gonna give it away anyway, huh?
Yeah, we always want especially the people living like in the surrounding community to come get vegetables.
Right,
You know,
right,
like,
right.
one of the main reasons that we even go to the farmers market is just because sometimes we just have vegetables left over and it's like we got to do something with it. And even though you're a nonprofit, you still kind of have to have a profit just to kind of maintain and even to get grants. Like, they like to see that you have your own income coming in as well. But yeah, we prefer if you like kind of know what you're doing when you're like harvesting vegetables. But yeah, if people take vegetables, like, I would be grateful. You know, sometimes I just prefer if like we can pick them and weigh them because I like to kind of gauge the productivity of the farm as well. I like to weigh things so we know like how much we're growing. I like to keep data on that sort of thing, just because sometimes people want to know that when you approach them for any type of support. How much food are you growing?
Right, right.
So
Yeah, we got
yeah.
that makes sense. And yeah, that's all people. Before you take, they got just let them count the shit before you
Right.
take it. You know what I'm saying? Damn, he's gonna give it to you. Just let them count the shit.
Yes, I
Take
would
it.
love to give it to you.
Let-
Please.
That's cool. That's cool. We're gonna take a small break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about your summer youth program and some other things. So, I'm gonna take us to the break. Boom, straight like that. We back like we left something. Once again, it is Refinement Thursday, so make sure you go down to 137 South Park, Warren, Ohio. Check out the guys at Downtown Grooming, Master Barbers, Lou and Mike. They'll get you together. Go get your. I see my shit. Go get right. Go get right. Get your lineup right. Get your little fade right. And if you really nice, get you a nice little part. And they get you together. They will get you together. And if you need help getting that getting refined again, you need some abs, or you know what I'm saying, you need to get your dribble right. Go down to Phillips Care Training, 277 South High Street, Cortland. Uh, Mike will get you right. He'll get you right. He'll have you on your 2 feet. He'll have you on your 2 feet, man. Shout out to the 5 a.m. crew. Shout out to everybody out there that's been vibing with us thus far. I'm here with Sarah Thomas from Warren Grown, and we've been talking we were just recently talking during the break about we talking about a lot of things, but yeah, what I wanted to off the top of my head, how many community gardens have you guys? Do you have the one?
Yeah, we just have one right now. So as part of this season, I'm hoping to expand a little bit because there's another vacant lot right behind ours that's owned by the land bank. So I'm hoping one of my goals has been to build a food forest. So that's essentially where you start incorporating like fruit trees and berry bushes amongst your vegetable plants as well.
All right.
So it would still be, I guess, one growing space, but we'll just hopefully get a little bit bigger this year.
Do you guys? You ever think about like he just told me I say too much. Do you think about as a service, like as a service being that you can provide maybe like doing people's home garden for them, like getting it started for them?
I have thought about that, yes. But I've not necessarily put the plan into motion yet. But yeah, the thought has crossed my mind.
Yeah. That was one
I
of
think would be cool because I've seen other nonprofits in different areas do that. So I think that would be a really great way to help people empower themselves.
yeah, that was almost a proposition. Cause
Right. I mean, yeah, that would help you.
yeah, that was almost
I'm
a
good at,
proposition.
like,
Cause I was like, damn, I want a garden,
yeah,
but it'd be cool if I just came out and it was there.
boom, it's there. Yep.
I pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So no, I'm just saying like that would be a another service. I was just thinking that. I was like,
Yep.
like if
And I'm pretty sure I could get a grant for that.
yeah,
Get a grant for that service, I think.
like you show somebody call you, like listen, I got this many square feet.
Mhm.
Now they will be responsible for maintaining it.
Like, yeah,
But-
we'll come in, we'll set it up. Well, we could probably even plant the plants for you if that's what you want, but then
Mhm.
gotta water 'em.
Yeah, it's on you now. We got
Yeah.
this. Once we get the seed in the ground,
Yeah.
and we done gave you your rows and all that.
Yep. But yeah, I think that would be really cool, and that would be a great way to create jobs.
Yeah, because now you can dispatch them out, kind of like the almost like the lawn care guys do.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying
Mhm.
they got some customers, and then even if some people, I don't know, maybe I'm getting putting a carriage in front of the horse, but I think you probably can have different levels.
Yeah,
You probably could
you
sell
even
different
have, like,
packages.
okay, you don't want to take care of it? All right, well, we'll come and we'll, do this once a week or
Yeah.
do pest control this many times.
Yeah,
Or-
almost subscription based, almost like
Mhm.
yeah, man. I think that would be. I think that'll be a pretty
Yeah.
dope thing.
Definitely.
And then people be like, just like they like their grass cut, they go out
Yep.
there, pick up their vegetables,
Mhm. Yep.
save them $1.
Yes. Yep.
Maybe something to look into.
I think so too.
And if y'all need a test yard, tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? I got.
No, that's not the worst idea because then we could kind of like practice. Like it would give me the chance to practice like making a budget and actually like implementing it in someone's.
Let's stay in touch. We could do it. You know what I'm saying? We could do it. I got a little bit of dirt. I can use
Right,
some
yeah.
tomatoes. I can use. You
And
know what I
you'd be
mean?
surprised at just how low maintenance you can be and how accessible a lot of like free supplies are to just
Right.
create what you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. What else we got? Are you guys the only ones doing this right now in this vicinity, in this area?
I think we're maybe some of the only ones kind of doing it this way. I mean, there are definitely a lot of community gardens in the area,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we're one of the few groups who are doing like more so like we're growing food and we're giving it away. Like community
Right.
gardens are more like each individual gets a plot of land and they grow whatever we want. Whereas we have one grow plan for the entire grow space. And I usually I try to get input from the community as to what vegetables and produce they want us to grow.
Oh,
So I
okay.
ask people what they want, and then I try to grow those things for them.
Okay. Tell us about the tell us about your youth education, the summer program.
Yeah, so this is our first season having a youth summer program. And basically, our goal is to teach kids not only about urban agriculture, but ways that plants can benefit their ways or their lives in a variety of ways. So we're going to be looking at the nutritional value of plants, so how they benefit your health just by eating them. We're going to be looking at ways that you can enhance your wellness through plants, so like utilizing herbs, making teas, making juices, and even making art. And we're also going to be teaching kids how to go to markets and either sell produce that you grow or sell the crafts that you make, or I'm going to leave it open to the kids where they can sell anything that anything that they come up with, because I'm sure they're going to come up with things that I didn't even think of myself. So, or I hope they do.
Okay, okay. So, talk about this. You said this is the first year you guys done it.
Yeah, so I did, Kyla and I, we did like a smaller version of this at the school that I used to work with. And that's kind of how Warren Grown got its start. We started working together, and we were like people just from the community were asking like, hey, can we come participate in this? And I had to say no because I could only have students at the school
Right.
participate in the program just for liability purposes. So that's when I started realizing like, okay, this could be bigger than just this little school program.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think a lot of the kids, and I'm looking at the flyer right here. I think the third to eighth grade age group, I think they'll respond pretty well to it.
Yeah.
I see you got the dates. It looked like every Tuesday and Thursday, starting the second week of June,
Yes. Yep.
through July.
Yep.
And like I said, I got the flyers up there. I added to the description, and I also posted on our social media as well. Um, but definitely, I think that, from my opinion, I think that's a lot of. I think a lot you'll get a lot of interest from those kids from that
Yeah,
age
yeah, it
bracket.
seems I picked those age groups just because from doing different like gardening programs elsewhere in the city, it seems like that age group was the most excited and the most curious about getting outside and learning how to grow things. And then as far as older kids, like 9 through 12th grade or beyond, that's the demographic that I want to start to develop jobs for. Because
Mm.
that, once you get into like sometimes like 8th grade, high school age, that's when kids start asking you like, well, are you going to pay me?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's a fact. That's a
so
fact.
I want to be able to pay them because I mean their time is valuable. Like we doing a lot of other things besides like moving wood chips. So
If somebody wanted to, no, before I ask that question, uh, Warren Grown, 20 years from now is running. It's a organization, bigger than you ever thought it was.
mhm.
Um, what would that look like at when you ready to pass the baton
Mhm.
and everybody sitting on the line clapping
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything? Like, what does that look? What does it look like for you after, like, not after that, but like,
yeah.
how you see it in your vision? Like,
To me, I see it as a lot of like what the farms look like in Detroit. So they're like fully functional farms, like big farms that have greenhouses. We're growing food, we're selling food. We maybe have like a CSA, we have employees. So, like, one thing that I think is necessary is to make jobs for farmers. So that's another goal of our program is I just want kids to see like you can make a living being a farmer. You know, you don't have to have this big piece of land. Everyone seems to think that a farm has to be like lots of acres of land. But the technical definition of a farm is actually any piece of land that you use with the intention of making a profit. So you don't even have to actually make a profit as long as your intention is to grow some sort of produce and sell it, then you have a farm. So your backyard can be a farm, a little half an acre lot can be a farm.
Yeah, I had learned my my website guy. He he has a farm out in Brookfield, and
Uh-huh.
he is telling me about the tax breaks that he get.
Yeah.
He get a lot of tax breaks because he said like he sell a lot of pumpkins.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Because he sell the pumpkins and he sell the corn and things like that.
Mhm.
He get a lot of tax breaks. So he was educate me on
Yeah, a
that.
lot of people start farming just to get tax breaks.
You're right,
So-
right. Because he like if you put some lamb, he like you put some lambs on there as livestock. It's another
Yep.
tax break if you put
Mhm.
livestock on your land.
Yep.
So he was educating me on that. Sir, if somebody wanted to donate, help, support, volunteer, where could they find you? How they need to do it?
Well, we are on Instagram and Facebook. So you can just send us a message, and I'll get back to you. I'm the one who manages those pages. Or donating, we have a link tree links in both of our social media pages as well, with a link where you can donate by credit card, Cash App, Venmo. If you do want to send a check, I'll just message me and I can let you know where to mail that to. If you want to volunteer, I would love it if you would volunteer because we always need volunteers because even running a small farm is a lot of work. So I would definitely love some volunteer help. And once again, for that, you can message me on social media. Our Instagram handle is at warren.grown. Facebook, you can find us just by searching Warren Grown. And then our email is warren.grown@gmail.com if you want to email us. So, and my number's out there on all our flyers, so you can text me too.
That's outstanding. Sarah, once again, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the conversation. I definitely learned a lot. And I hope, well, I'm sure that, the listeners and those who may be watching this in TV land definitely learned something. If not about, the growing processes and things like that, but just about in our area, saying how they can empower themselves, grow their own food, and if they don't know how who they can contact to get educated, and even volunteer to get some hands-on experience that you can then take back to your own yard.
Yep.
Through. So it's
And
almost.
if you're interested in learning anything and we don't have like a workshop going on, like let me know.
Cool.
I will give you a personalized lesson. Just come to the farm anytime.
There it is. There it is. So you just took the excuses away. There it is, y'all. She said, hit her up. She gonna teach you how to grow your own food, right?
Yep. There's a good chance I might even be able to hook you up with plants, depending on where we are in the season. So.
All right. So since you said that, now that's my plant, right?
Yep.
I just got that today.
Yep.
So the idea is to have plants all around
That
here.
would be really cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
So I'll be tapping in for the plants.
Yes.
All right, I'll be tapping in for the plants because that was $60.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean? So
I'm not a house plant girl. Like I'm deadly to house plants.
Oh yeah.
Side plants I can
Oh,
manage.
I think
House plants are rough for me.
That's why I needed to maintain a bigger plant, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's I can't ignore it. It's
Right.
too much in the way for me to
Yeah,
forget to
that's
water
true.
it.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm
Won't
saying?
forget about it.
Right. Because
Yep.
after I shut down the studio every night, I'm gonna put it on that table in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
That way, the first thing I walk in, it's like water the plant. Get my plant together.
Mhm.
Sarah was dope.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for having me.
we definitely gonna have you back again. We're gonna get out there and get our hands dirty with y'all.
Yeah, Yeah.
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Bring out the interviews crew out there and make the collaboration a official tissue.
Yes.
Everybody out there in TV land listening, watching, I appreciate your time, lending the ear. And y'all know the vibes, man. This interviews, we back out here. I know it's been a long time, but we back out. We didn't want to rush it. We wanted to make sure we get quality people here, giving us quality education, quality topics, something that we can put some fat on our head, and we can take it and do our thing. So, once again, I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was
It was
awesome.
nice meeting you,
Yeah, you
and I'm
too.
sure we'll be continuing this on. And
For sure.
shout out to Warren Grown and everybody out there. So till next time. Peace.